I just have to video this. I don't know if it does it justice, but these trees are just so freaking amazing. So that's where I came from. I just met Katie, a trail hiker who checks for bear canisters and tells people about where good water spots are or where you need to get water beforehand. But yeah, we're going over to Justice Creek, so I'm almost there. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to show you right now is something that is called like a designated campsite when you're backpacking. And this is something that has already been pre-created for people when they're out on the trail and they're backpacking. And so I'm going to flip the camera around and show you. And what they really ask you to do is to not have any more additional fire rings if one has already been set up. And this one is a really great one. This is Justice Creek. And I've already passed like 3 or 4 of these, but this one's easiest for us to see. And easiest for us to get down to. So you should be able to see right down there, there's a little circle with a fire ring. And then that's like on an old logging road. So sometimes they'll use the old logging roads to kind of set up for the premise for pre-set up spots. And this is a really great spot because the water is easy to get to. Okay, so let's talk about this situation right here. You come up on something like this, where you see the line and you've got a beautiful little banner waving in the wind. Okay, this area has been overpopulated. Okay, meaning people have camped here way too many times. And that's why they do this. So the Georgia Appalachian Trail Society is trying to rehabilitate this area, and you're gonna see that along the trail as you go, and that's why they do it. They're trying to rehab the area to protect our wildlands. Okay, so I thought I would explain some of this rigging right here. This rigging is for you to hook to your backpack. There's some hooks right there. And with that, you can hang your bag up so that animals won't get into it. And then also, this is what they call a bear box if you don't have a bear canister. And so this is where you can safely store your food in case you don't have a bear canister like I do. And it's supposed to keep your food safe while you are camping. And I'll try not to video too much. We got some campers right there. And then over here is our shed. And I'm gonna talk a little more about that in just a second. Okay, so what we're inside right now is a shed. And as you can see above me, there's a lovely loft. And then a set of ladder that you can use to climb up to the top loft. They typically don't want a whole bunch of backpackers in the loft at one time. And then here at this particular shelter, they actually have designated spots where you can camp for the night. And they do have people out walking the trail to monitor how many people are at each shelter for the night. And so most of the time, backpackers are not gonna wanna use the shelter unless it's raining or whatnot. But this is a particularly nice one, and so I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you some of the benefits to this. So this is, sometimes they will go through and do things in dedication. So right here, and people will come out. And the other really fascinating thing is that, ouch, be careful your head. They'll put books in here and you can use that for research. Also, most of the time inside there will be like a log that you can sign. So, you know, most people, if they're through hiking, they have like trail names and things like that, and they'll say the date and what time they were here. So this is Gooch, G-O-O-C-H shelter. And as you can see, there is twine. They don't want you to cross over the twine because with the popularity of backpacking and trails, especially at this time of year, because this is the time of year when most people start their through hike for that full Appalachian Trail. And so they're trying to rehab areas. cannot tell you how eternally blessed I feel like I am right now. Just being able to look out over all of this. I can't wait to see what sunrise holds for me in the morning. It's just remarkable. So right over here, this mountain, that's Woody's Gap. So I'm only a mile away from the spot where I want to be. But I don't want to be on Woody's Gap. I just wanted to make it to it. So I'm close enough. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. It was a cold night last night. I wasn't cold, but I just didn't sleep, so I thought it's time to get up. It's time to see what the sunrise looks like. And it's definitely not disappointing. I was at this site by myself all night last night. It's awesome. Hey everyone, so I just wanted to stop and do a video next to this really awesome little stream right behind me. This is, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show it to you in a second. But it's really important to make sure that when you're getting your water that you don't just dip your cup into the stream, and you want to make sure that you have some sort of way of filtering out your water. One of the things that you can get is you can get those Life straws from Walmart. That's probably the cheapest option. Another thing is if you're gonna plan on backpacking regularly, you can buy a water filtration unit, such as, I have one right here, and it is the Katadyn, K-A-T-A-D-Y-N. And that actually is good for, like, I want to say 1,000 plus types of refills. I was talking to the park ranger Katie last night, or junior ranger I guess is what she really is officially, and I definitely noticed it last night when I set up camp about making sure that you leave no trace. And so what does it mean to leave no trace? Well, it means that you take all your trash with you. So when you're cooking your meals, and you can do like meals ready to eat, or you can even do what I've done here is, and I'll kind of explain that in a second, but all of your trash needs to go back out with you, and that's what it means to leave no trace. And she really expressed to me, can you please make sure that you notify your viewers or your students about the purpose of leaving no trace. And one of the things that on the Georgia section of the Appalachian Trail that they've started doing again is you now have to carry a bear canister at certain parts where you see more tourists. And so that was something that I didn't know about several years ago when I was backpacking. And then I definitely have to have it for Yosemite this summer when I go. So this is basically a canister, and I'll show you in just a second, that the bears can't break into, they can't bite into, they can't get your food, and it kind of protects everything. And it's supposed to help with scent, but I really don't think about that too much because, you know, and you normally would keep your bear bag or your bear box, your bear canister away from things, like away from your campground. They say about, 100, 200 feet away. That way, if a bear does come along, it's not going to come after you. You keep stuff in there like toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, soap, anything that may possibly have a scent. You don't want that coming into your tent with you. And a lot of places, they tell you to hang your pack up. So some people will hang their packs up at night unless it's raining, which last night it definitely didn't rain. It was a good night last night, except for the fact that I just couldn't sleep. I don't know, I was wired. I slept maybe 4 hours total, but I definitely enjoyed my little crank radio, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. So this is my bear canister, and it holds all my food and even some extra items. I got the extra big one because I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room, because the last thing you want is something that's not going to hold everything. This is my meal. I like doing this as opposed to some of the store-bought stuff. I got an oven mitt that has a pocket inside of it, and then I have my spoon, and inside my Ziploc bag is my breakfast, which is basically 2 packets of oatmeal. And so I will use my stove to cook the water, and then I just put everything in the Ziploc bag. This is really great because then there's no dishes, and the only trash I have is the Ziploc bag. So that's a really great thing. And again, when I'm done, I'll put it all back inside my bear canister, and then I'll continue on my hike. Awesome, right? It's a nice little stream, gives you enough pocket to get enough water. But remember, don't drink it straight.